across to Vinayak Chatterjee, who's joining in with us to talk, who's the founder and managing trustee at the InfraVision Foundation, joining in with us. Good afternoon, Mr. Chatterjee. Thank you so much for joining in with us. And, obviously what we're going to talk about is in terms of the infra business, Adani's infra business coming in as well. Now, you've been in the infra business for a while. You know the nuances coming in as well. What are you making of, the Adani's asset quality in terms of their infra business? Obviously, they do have a lot of infra projects coming in as well. So what is your experience coming in over there, and what should one be making of that as of now in terms for Adani?
Thank you. That's an interesting question. I have personally been tracking, like all of us, the developments over the last few days. And I think it's just going to blow over. The important thing is, over the years that I've been tracking the assets are, from an infrastructure point of view, are fundamentally very sound and strong. Whether you see the ports business, whether you see the airports business, these are businesses that are stable, that generate cash, and are unaffected by all the turbulence in the rest of the world in terms of exports and imports and all that. They are domestic facing. There is huge demand, and actually much of the value is still to unfold. Some of the bigger investments, for example, at the transshipment port at Viringaram near Kochi, at the southern tip of India, the Tajpur port in Bengal, the massive investment. I have just come back from the renewable energy park in Kutch at a place called Khavda. And there is the world's largest renewable energy park of 30,000 megawatts, the largest in the world, of which the Adani Group is implementing 50%, about 15,000 megawatts. And as soon as that starts generating, 2 years from now, it will all be picked up as green energy. And there are investments in hydrogen, in solar manufacture, windmill, across the business are sound, and I think the value is actually set to unfold in many more ways than you have seen till now. So I wouldn't be worried about the current, brouhaha in the stock markets. That is something that will pass. And once again, these will continue to happen. And I think as citizens of the country, we would certainly like to see many more groups like Adani emerge. I mean, after all, the infrastructure investments that the nation requires today is 20 lakh crores, which will soon become 22 lakh crores per annum. Of this, the central and state sectors can do only about 60%. 40% have to be done by investors of the size and stature of the Adani Group. And I think that a positive environment to see them succeed is good for the nation. I mean, it is very, setting up infrastructure business in the private sector is a Herculean task. You have to mobilize large dollops of capital from domestic and international markets. You have the pain of land acquisition, of various clearances, and then you have to have the capacity to procure and an execution team that is world class. Now, unfortunately, I don't see any other business group that today has the grit, the determination, and the vision to pull it all together. So I am saying that not just the Adani Group, the country needs 5, 6, 7 more such visionary entrepreneurs to help build the nation's infrastructure. And I hope this current brouhaha and distraction passes us over, and the people of India and the long-term investors, people who are wishing to participate in the infrastructure story in the long run, are kept in mind, and that they are encouraged and motivated to carry on with the kind of investments that are being expected. But over to you.
Right. Point taken, Mr. Chatterjee, on the fact that how the nation needs some more, we need big houses like Adani Group to actually take over such great and big infrastructure projects, given the fact that India has to scale new heights every year after year. So do you think that the Adani Group now will be able to execute these large infrastructure projects, given the fact that what is happening right now? Are there any doubts that are being raised on the capability of the group to go ahead and execute these infra projects?
No. I don't think the current brouhaha in the stock markets, based on a particular research report, has in any way impacted the financial or execution ability of the group. I think they will go on as usual because the financial support from long-term investors, both domestic and foreign institutions, as well as the Indian retail public, I don't think will be dented in any manner, and this current brouhaha will pass. I don't see any problem in execution. I think the group has very fine execution skills, and I do not think any of this is going to impact the planned execution in the coming months. And I hope that it doesn't, which I'm sure will remain unaffected, because I have actually tracked the execution capabilities of this group over the last 2.5 decades, 25 years. And I have seen the quality of execution. And execution, I just don't mean on the ground. It is the ability to raise capital. It is the ability to envision a project. It is the ability to hire people. It is the ability to procure components and parts. And it is the ability to put it all together on the ground. It's a fantastic capacity and capability, and I don't see any problem once this blows over. And I just hope this quickly blows over in the next 1 or 2 days, so that we can all get, the entire group can actually get back to work and not have its bandwidth, shall we say, distracted.
Right, point taken. Thank you so much, Mr. Chatterjee, for making our time on ET Now to talk about how much of this would impact the infrastructure segment. But while Mr. Chatterjee is of the view that we need more groups as the Adani Group when it comes to the infrastructure demand that India has, and would expect these things not to impact the execution capabilities of the group. And that was Mr. Vinayak Chatterjee of the InfraVision Foundation. But